This is the Hoops 8 Tournament Preview Show with Sports Director Travis Lee on Channel 8 WNTW.
Welcome back. Our boys' games of the year. Thornton at Deering, the game tied late off the miss. Wyatt Benoit, the game winner at the horn. Madomic Valley at Yarmouth. Panthers rally from down 9 late. Gabe Lash in the final second sends it to double OT where Madomic would win. And the last night of the regular season, Edward Little down 2 late. And it's Caden Boone, the steal and stuff to seal the win. Our boys' games of the year, some thrilling action already in the regular season, much more to come in the postseason. Now, among the storylines this year, accusations of unsportsmanlike play from one of the state's most dominant teams, the Oceanside Boys. The Mariners came up just short in the state final a year ago and are the favorites to get back to that title game in B-South. Spruce Mountain has leaders capable of carrying a team deep led by Ian York and Jace Bessie. Yarmouth's height will be a problem for anyone in the tournament, and few players are in the zone like senior Evan Ham. Madomic Valley stumbled at the end, losing 2 of its last 4. But Corey Donlin and Gabe Lash lead an ensemble capable of getting hot and making a run. York has an interior presence with Lucas Bouchard, and the rest of the Wildcat rotation plays with a high IQ. 2-seed Lincoln Academy is a team on the rise. Gabe Hager can fill it up with anyone, scoring over 20 a game, and the Eagles proved they can win at the Expo last year. Lucas Houghton has become their X factor. Oceanside has won 34 of its last 35 games. The Mariners make headlines with their margin of victory, scoring 90 points a game this year. The Galley brothers get it done, but a dangerous supporting cast has played a major role in the team's success. Now the B North tournament is going to be a pick'em. Ellsworth beat Orono and Old Town. Orono beat Ellsworth and Old Town. Old Town beat Orono and Ellsworth. Caribou got in the act, beating Old Town and Orono. And any given night, anybody could win up there. The wild card could be the 2-seed in the North. At 15-3, the Black Bears of Maranacook put 5 players on the floor who can score. And they are an unknown going into that for those other teams that know so much about one another. Keegan McClure has had a terrific senior season for the Black Bears. Now, Michael, we could probably devote an entire hour to the B-Boys tournament. Maybe that's an idea for next year. We could put it behind the paywall. But we'll just give it away for free tonight. The B-South tournament looks like it could be pretty interesting.
It certainly was last year, Travis. So let's not forget, I mean, Oceanside nearly got upset by Cape in last year's quarterfinals. There's a possibility that we'd have that matchup this year in the quarterfinals if Cape can go up to Rumford and beat Mountain Valley in the prelim next week. But this Oceanside team, just so fun to watch. They score the ball with abandon, and we know what they can do to opponents that can't keep up with them. So they certainly have to be considered the favorite coming in. I'm really looking at that 4-5 matchup. I can't wait to cover that Yarmouth-Madomic Valley game. I saw the regular season game. It was actually Yarmouth's 3rd straight overtime loss. They were actually 1-5 coming out of that game 2 days before the new year. They've turned around. They went 10-2 to finish the regular season. You know, Evan Ham, Matt Cottrell, they've been in a lot of big games, and Yarmouth's got a lot of other kids who have been big games in soccer and lacrosse and baseball too. So that's going to be a fascinating matchup, and then whoever gets through that, presuming they see Oceanside, it's not going to be easy for the Mariners at all, just like it was last year.
Yeah, and the Mid-Coast has had a resurgence here over the last couple years, led by this Oceanside group. Michael, last year we had 3 out of the 4 teams in the Southern B Final Four that were from that conference, from the KVAC up that way, and then this year, certainly on paper, looks like they could possibly do it again. York, a team that, they had injuries last year, and I think that helped some of the younger guys get a little bit more playing time. Hurt them last year, but some of those guys are really ready to play, and Lucas Bouchard is a real difference maker in the middle for those guys. And Lincoln, they're undaunted.
Always there, every year.
They are, and they've got Gabe Hager's as good as you're going to find for a scorer, and, they played Oceanside to its toughest game this year. They've played against each other since they were little kids. They're not afraid of those guys, but a lot of people were afraid of Oceanside this year because of the energy and the way that they play. And one stat from that group that's just will blow your mind: 13.5 offensive rebounds a game. I mean, that's just,
that's phenomenal.
Speaks to the tenacity that they play the game and how you got to take care of the boards if you're going to have any chance at beating Oceanside coming up. So that's going to be a tournament that we're looking forward to. And it's a weird one because you start in the afternoon on Friday. Your 4 o'clock start, just kind of like we were talking about the B girls in the morning on Saturday with the 9 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Not times that you're ready to usually play basketball, but that's what you got to do when it's tournament time. All right, Michael. Now, a decade ago in 2014, we celebrated 2 superstars as Miss and Mr. Basketball. Allie Clement had a starring role in 4 Class A championships at Catherine McCauley. Dustin Cole, he didn't reach a state final, but remains the only player to ever be first-team All-SMAA for 4 years. Later in the show, we'll unveil the names of the semifinalists for Mr. and Miss Basketball in the state, trying to follow in those great players' footsteps. Oh, it's been a record-breaking year for the Noble boys basketball team. The Knights, 2 years removed from a winless season, set a school record with 14 wins. Some of the credit for their success can go to their do-everything senior, Isaiah Connery, who sometimes acts like a coach on the floor, which is for good reason. He kind of is. For the past few winters, Isaiah Connery has been living a double life. A high school basketball player by night, a travel team and AAU coach on the weekends and off season.
They're hard sometimes, but it's fun, just like impacting little kids' lives. Like, just I want kids to be able to grow up and play the same way I did and keep enjoying the game as much as I do.
So having Connery in the lineup is really like having a coach on the floor for Noble's John Morgan.
Isaiah has been a blessing for like a coach like me because he is a coach. He understands.
In the offseason, when he coaches AAU teams, there are times he's coaching sophomores, players just 2 years younger than him, which puts him in an unusual spot when there's downtime when traveling outside of Maine.
It's fun because we'll go away and sometimes I'll hang out with the kids and have fun with the kids, and other times I'll go hang out with the parents and talk to the parents about the games.
Connery says coaching is definitely in his future. He learned a lot from his uncle, who was a college coach, but he's going to enjoy his last few games as a player. Morgan has been a mentor to Connery, but Morgan says Connery doesn't really need it.
Coaching him as a coach, I haven't had to do a ton, of like real hard structure stuff because he's just a natural at it. He does a good job. You gotta start hunting stuff around the rim, getting fouled.
Living this dual life can lead to some interesting encounters with officials.
I'll get refs all the time that are like, whoa, like you play, right? And I'll be like, yeah. And then like sometimes on the weekends I'll get some guy in my travel game when I'm coaching my younger kids, and then I'll get him again on Monday when we're playing our game against whoever it is, and it's kind of funny.
Connery's Noble Knights, one of the contenders to be playing for a gold ball in March. Here's our look at Class A South. Kennebunk flew under the radar with 12 wins, but don't sleep on Theo Powell and his gang of scores. Freeport lost 3 of 4 to end the year, but in JT Pound they have a player who can own the paint and enough slashers to scare you. Noble will push the tempo. Jameer Rose and Bryce Guitard might be the stars, but the supporting cast is peaking. With Chris Simons, Falmouth has a player that can carry a team to a title. And history's proven it's hard to bet against Falmouth in big games. After an opening night loss to Falmouth, Gray ran off 15 straight wins. Nate Hebert and Johnny Patino are cooking, and the Patriots play with an energy that's tough to match. Gray certainly getting after it, the #1 seed at 16-2, Michael, but plenty of options out here if you want to pick a champion from the South region.
Well, there's just some great stories here. I mean, how nice is it to see Noble really become a prominent team in this region? Freeport, their best record since 2007, 2008 when Craig Sickles was still coaching, and that's the last time they even got past a quarterfinal, so they have a chance to continue to make history. And Gray is so much fun to watch. I got a chance to see them earlier this year. They just light it up. To me, though, the road to the title through this region goes through Falmouth. They've won the last 2 regional titles. They were a point away from winning a state championship last year without Chris Simons after he got hurt prior to the tournament. So they're going to be hungry. They're going to be really tough to beat. They had that late loss at Freiburg Academy. I think that might have been a little bit of a wake-up call for them. But the Navigators, they've been to the regional final 11 out of the last 13 tournaments, not counting the pandemic year. And Coach Halligan is very close to hitting that 600 career mark. Falmouth goes all the way. I mean, there's a lot for the Navigators to play for this year. And I still think they're the team to beat in that region until someone proves otherwise.
And, they say the styles make the fight, right?
Right.
You've got a couple teams in here that really want to push. Gray
Yes.
and Noble,
Yes.
If they met up, that could be an 80-80 game. Freeport can play any pace, and Falmouth, I think, can play any pace, but I think that they'd rather find their way to getting some good possessions inside, and should make for a very interesting A-South tournament, as I think A-South might be the stronger of the two classes, regions in
year.
Class A this year, whereas the last couple of years, A North has clearly been the better of the two divisions. Now, up in the North, Hamden is back in Class A. That powerhouse drops down. They won 15 of their last 16 games behind Zach McLaughlin. And Evan Sterling has Mount Blue a contender after a 15-3 regular season. Look out for Mount Blue. They played some great basketball this year. A reminder, though, for the best in tournament coverage, join us at 11 o'clock for all the recaps and storylines from the prelims to state finals. That's every 11 o'clock throughout the tournament. So we look at Double A when we come back and reveal the Miss Basketball semifinalists.